Things are not looking good for Harvard University. It has a $53.2 billion endowment, yet it's jumping up and down when Trump said that he's withdrawing $2.2 billion grant that the federal government gives to Harvard for its refusal to play by the rules that the administration set. You may agree with them or you may not agree with them, but the money is coming from the federal government. They have every right to do it, in my opinion. Of course, Harvard has challenged that. So one might ask the question, if they have $53 billion in endowment, 53.8 billion to be exact, why do they need this chump change of $2.2 billion? Well, it's not so easy. It turns out that of the $53.8 billion endowment, much of that is deeded for a specific purpose by the donors. In other words, you can't just take it and spend it as you see fit. And therefore, what happens is this money, it is believed to be set aside for specific scholarship from specific countries. Even all sorts of conditions are laid out before you can start using the endowment money. Also, Harvard does a lot of cutting-edge research in its medical program, in the medical school, and perhaps they need a lot of money, like to the tune of $6.1 billion. It's not just this that Trump has threatened to cut off. He said that he would also remove tax-exempt status for Harvard, and he would also move to limit the number of international students that Harvard could take. Today, 1 in 4 students in Harvard is from outside of United States. And most likely, these are all legacy admissions. What legacy admissions means is if the father went to Harvard, then the son or the daughter also goes to Harvard. Something of that nature, a very cushy, comfy arrangement where the academic standards are not really looked at. You do still have to pass the classes in Harvard, but at least the entry is not that hard. So this means that Harvard has a huge problem. And if the tax exempt status is taken away, then even the money that they may make out of the endowments, like for example, if they invested it in stock market and the dividends are coming out, those things could also be in trouble. Not only that, going forward, donors may not give money to Harvard because they will not be able to get tax-exempt status. It is also believed that Harvard University floats tax-free bonds. Those also would be up in the air because people will say, why should I, buy your bond? Because these are not tax-free anymore. So a whole lot of pain ahead for Harvard. Maybe they think that, well, much of the Supreme Court judiciary is alumni of ours. They'll see their way clear and allow us the way we want to run things ourselves. So that's just the big picture here. Now, this is not all. Things are getting even worse for Harvard because there has been a 300 plus page study that has come out that is damning about the way Harvard has treated its students, especially those who happen to be of Jewish origin. I have a small slide deck to share with you. I request all of you to like this video. If you have not subscribed to our channel, kindly consider doing so. This is a very important video. Many of us parents would like to see our children go to some of the best Ivy League schools, of which Harvard is one, and you need to understand and go in with your eyes wide open. Here we go. Harvard's report exposes campus anti-Semitism bias. By the way, as you see this, you will notice that the bias is not restricted just to some students coming from some countries. It is widespread, as in faculty, as in teacher assistant. That's where things get really screwy. I'm afraid this is going to be a huge eye-opener for many of you. Harvard published a 300-plus page report revealing widespread anti-Semitism and anti-Israel bias on campus following the October 7th Hamas attack. You all remember that there were many student body organizations who signed up in support of Hamas, and there were flags going from the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. People are flying these flags, having them without understanding the implications of that it meant that all Jews must be exterminated and thrown in the sea. And then what happened was a huge backlash. Many law school students who were about to get offer letters, they got their, in fact, they had even got offer letters. Those offer letters got rescinded because their name showed up in the list of people who are supporting Hamas. So this is not something that is very something easy to take. I always warn students, You are in campuses to learn, absorb, get as much knowledge as you possibly can. Stay out of politics. Simple advice. Please take my word. Your parents have shed their blood to get you into some of these prestigious institutions. Don't waste it. Now, the findings of this 300+ page report were drawn from hundreds of interviews with students, staff, and faculty, highlighting systemic discrimination and fear on campus. The report includes suggestions on reforms related to admissions, complaint procedures, and academic content. In a Harvard law event held for the families of hostages, the university relocated Jewish students for safety reasons, while protesters were allowed to move freely around the venue. They walk around like they own the place, one student observed. So this is something that is so blatant. I mean, freedom of speech. How free is freedom of speech? How far are you going to give the freedom to let people freely express themselves? I mean, there were instances where in Harvard as well as in Columbia, Jewish students were not allowed to go to their classes. People would get ambushed. How the heck did these people know who was a Jewish student and who was not? I would like to know that also, because this information is not obvious. So what really happened was really, really reprehensible. And now we have to see how much of this report is actually going to damage the cause of Harvard. Chants like Globalize the Intifada were commonly heard across campus, causing deep distress for many Israeli students, some of whom had survived the second Intifada. For those who lived through that period in Israel, the phrase carries a painful and deeply personal meaning. In a Middle Eastern studies event in Harvard, October 7th was described as an attack on Israeli Jewish settlements in an effort to dehumanize the victims and erase the civilian massacre that took place. And in another place called as the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health's Palestine program, Israel was depicted solely as an instrument of Palestinian oppression. I mean, they know what they are saying is wrong. They know they are lying. Yet it doesn't stop them from doing this. Why? Our own Ithel school, I don't remember what the thing was, but they allowed a Pakistani event to take place, and they are always South Asian. They're not Indian. Why is Mittal family hiding their Indianness? By the way, I'm hearing some funny things about why Mittal is relocating to Dubai. Whole lock, stock, and barrel. The company is moving to Dubai, and so is the family. And I'm hearing some very funny things. If once I have some more information, I'll share that with you. Did Mr. Mittal run foul of the law in United Kingdom? Is it money laundering? Is it something else? Well, a lot of questions are being asked at this point of time. Well, let's get back to our main report here. And a university-wide survey revealed that most respondents did not feel safe expressing their political views, citing fears of academic or professional repercussions. The response from Jewish students in particular included some deeply troubling statistics. What were the statistics? Almost 60% of the Jewish students reported experiencing discrimination, stereotyping, or negative bias on their campus due to their views on current events. It's like they were being hounded wherever they were on the campus. This report serves as a damning indictment of America's most prestigious university. It is deeply troubling that meaningful change only began after Trump becoming president. And it's nothing short of shameful that the university president, Claudine Gay, resigned simply because she could not bring herself to say that calling for genocide is wrong. You remember that Ellie Stefanik roasting that she did of 3 presidents of Columbia, of Harvard, as well as of MIT. 2 have resigned. The third one is still hanging on. That is the MIT president. I don't know when her number is going to come up. The report shows clear, repeated disregard for their well-being. Would Harvard treat any other minority the way it treated Jews this past year? Well, guess what? This is going to happen soon. Whether you like it or not, Indian American community is going to face the same kind of music. Harvard holds a tax-free endowment of over 50 billion. I told you about it. So this is something that I've already talked about. Now, let's see some specific instances of where the anti-Semitism shone through. A Jewish student was barred from sharing the story of their Holocaust survivor grandfather's efforts to rescue Jews simply because he had helped them reach British Mandate Palestine. That's what it was called before Israel was formed. Event organizers deemed the account not tasteful and inherently one-sided due to its reference to Israel. Many Jewish and Israeli students were told that their presence on campus was offensive. I've seen videos, okay? It's not like, these are all first-hand, second-hand accounts. I've seen videos myself in that 1-2 month period when there was total disorder, when identical looking camps sprang up in just about every campus. Everywhere people had the same kind of text, same, from the river to the sea shit. And everywhere people are talking the same thing. There was a toolkit in play. In fact, the toolkit even surfaced. I've done a few programs on that toolkit, how that toolkit was created and distributed across campuses for maximum effect, while Mr. Biden just twiddled his thumbs and did nothing. On academic trips, Jewish students were told that their Jewish tradition had become indistinguishable from a settler colonial project. So somehow this control of narrative is what the left loony system is obsessed with. That needs to go. And I think what is eventually going to happen, and I'm going to give you the end of the story, what is eventually going to happen is that Harvard will fold, and because they can't do it without the tax exempt status, as well as being able to bring in international students, because much of the endowments are mandated only for international students. Hey, Xi Jinping's daughter, where did she go? Many of the glitterati from the CCP, where do their children study? What about the Saudi princesses? What about Qatar? What about UAE? What about all the rich hoi polloi, including those in India? Did you know that Ambani's daughter went to Yale? Do you think it was just like that? So a lot of things like this were done because they happen to be having a lot of money. They make some endowment or the other, and that opens doors for them. All I'm trying to say, viewers, is that Harvard is setting the wrong example for all the other universities. And of course, if Harvard falls, a lot of other universities are also going to fall in line. Just wait and watch. I'm not sure that this is good for university education system, but at the same time, there needs to be a hard look how they are going about doing their business. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.